Alright, I did not know this, but the SEC has a 36-page document on their website teaching students how to invest. And I read through all 36 pages so that you don't have to. And I have to say, it's actually pretty good, but I do want to spice it up. So in today's video, I'm going to cover investing for students. And I will cover everything from the basics of investing. I'll show you how to create a budget. I'm going to show you how to track your expenses. I'll show you the best credit card that a student can have to build a perfect credit score. I'm going to show you the best checking and savings accounts for students, and then we're gonna buy our first investment. This is the video that I wish I could have shown myself in middle school to prepare myself for high school so that when I eventually got to college, I would know exactly what to do, even though I didn't, because I dropped out. Now, to be fully transparent, I don't have a finance license to teach you investing, and I don't have a garage filled with Lamborghinis to show you how rich I am, but I am proud of this one thing, which is probably one of the coolest things that I own, which is this ring that has given me magical powers. Whew. I'm just kidding. It only looks like magic, but the reality is, I'm just trying to distract you from the fact that I'm not qualified to teach you anything. So with that said, part of this video is sponsored by Oura Ring, but more about them later. Let's get right into it. Hi, my name is Andrei Jikh. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, here is the most important thing to understand about investing. Number one, you don't need a lot of money to start investing. And number two, you don't need to learn complicated buzzwords like diversification to get started. In fact, you don't even need to make any money to win at this game of life. All you have to know is the simple rules of investing. The goal of this whole thing about money is to have your bills paid for while you sleep. The ultimate luxury that investors and money can buy is time and freedom. Freedom from something and freedom to do anything you want. It's that simple. And the way to get there is to have your passive income equal your expenses. And the way we can figure out that number is by calculating how much money it costs for you to be you. So we can use the average US household as an example. In 2022, the three biggest expenses were housing at $1,657 a month, transportation at $798 a month, and food at $644 a month. In total, the average household spent $5,005 per month, or $60,060 per year. Once you figure out how much money you spent per year, you take that number and multiply it by 25. That's part of something called the 4% rule, which just says that's how much money you need invested at 4% to last you the traditional 30-year retirement. So for the average US household, $60,060 multiplied by 25 is a little over $1.5 million, which is how much money the average US household needs to retire, which is also why most households don't retire and why they end up working forever. It's estimated that 69% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck because they spend most of their disposable income and they wait until they unlock the Social Security perk, which they reach at level 70 and a half, and even that promo is set to expire. So we want to get there faster than the average person, and there's three ways to do that. You could either make more money, spend less money, or both. Whichever path you choose, the first step is to realize how much money you make, how much you're spending, and that's how you can create a budget by tracking all those little categories and figuring out how much money in total you'll need. The faster you know this, the faster you will win. So the next step is to equip our character with the best gear possible so we can maximize our XP and set ourselves up to grind the levels of life. The first piece of equipment that you absolutely need is a savings account. This is kind of like your character's armor. I don't know what that has to do with anything, I just love a good card spring. The best one for college students right now is actually with SoFi. I'm not paid or sponsored to tell you about them, but right now, their APY is 1.25%. And that is 41 times the national average, which means you can make more money keeping your money in their savings account in just 9 days than you would an entire year holding your money at an average savings account. That's pretty incredible. There's also no fees and no account minimums to get started, But there is a catch, and the catch is that you have to turn on direct deposit, which means every time you get a paycheck, your money has to be deposited into one of their accounts. Now, that's not such a huge drawback, but if you don't want to do that, you don't have to, in which case your APY will drop to 0.7%, which is still 23 times the national average and still really, really good. The second piece of equipment that you absolutely need is, of course, a checking account. And this is like your character's physical attack, which also looks nothing like that. I just recently discovered that I taught Ali Abdaal how to do the thumb propulsion, which is just awesome. So what I would recommend is just to get one of the commercial banks, whether that's Wells Fargo or Chase or a local credit union. Credit unions are awesome because they're no frills, they're free, and they take really good care of their customers. The only downside of credit unions is that they're usually local, which is kind of a pain for when you're traveling. So maybe you want to get an online checking account like with Ally Bank or maybe with SoFi if you want an all-in-one solution. What you're really looking for is just to check if any of these banks are running promos for students. And most of the time, most of them will be. So what you're actually looking for is just to make sure that they have no account minimums, that they reimburse your ATM fees, and that they offer some kind of an interest on your checking and savings accounts of at least 0.5%. But if you just want to keep it super simple, just get one that's close to your college, and that works too. The third piece of equipment you need is a credit card. Now this is your magic, your mana, and your MP. And you might have heard that credit cards are this evil thing and you should only use cash, but the truth is, credit cards are just a tool. And if you could learn to use the tool, it's extremely powerful in getting things like free travel, consumer protections, and really low interest rates for when you're ready to buy a car or a house. And the earlier you start, the better off you'll be, and here's how you can do that. First, let me give you an optional side quest to invest in your health from today's sponsor, Oura Ring. Oura Ring tracks your sleep because good health starts with good sleep. Good sleep helps prevent illness and disease, it supports weight management, it reduces stress levels, it allows you to think more clearly and avoid injuries. And just like investing, it starts with tracking your progress. It has advanced health sensors, a 7-day battery life, water, and extreme temperature resistance. It also provides early sickness detection, sometimes before symptoms even show up, which is just crazy. It weighs the same as a nickel, it's super light, I love the sleek design, it comes in timeless colors which makes it perfect for every occasion from work to workout to night out. It allows you to track your health 24/7 without sacrificing style or comfort, and it's the most accurate consumer sleep tracker wrapped around your finger. Every morning I wake up, I'm super excited to check the sleep data. Like for example, last night I found out that I got 6 hours and 47 minutes of sleep and that I'm a very efficient sleeper at 91% and a resting heart rate of 59 beats per minute. And as a bonus, I could do magic with their rings, which is pretty cool. But the magic is sold separately. I'm just kidding, they don't actually sell magic tricks, but you can get the ring by clicking the link in the description below the video, where you will also get 6 months of free membership to personalized health and data insights. Go check out Oura Ring, it might become your new favorite investment. Now let's get back to the video. All right, step 1, let's get ourselves some revolving credit. And that's what I mean with nothing above or below or side to side, it's just no strings attached. Oh, the puns! All right, so first, download the Credit Karma app and start tracking your credit score. Now, I'm not sponsored by them, this is free, it's easy to use, and I've just used them forever, and as soon as you do, try to aim for a score of 750 and above, which is the excellent range, and as soon as you turn 18, get yourself a credit card. Now, I looked all over the internet to find you 2 of the best credit cards to start a credit score, and here's what they are. The first one is the Pedal 2 credit card. The cool thing about this credit card is that you can apply for it even if you have no credit card history whatsoever. The best part is that you don't need to put a down payment like you would with a secured credit card. There are no annual fees, so it's free to use. There's no foreign transaction fees, which means you can use it overseas, and you get 1.5% cash back on eligible purchases if you pay on time. And arguably the best part is that you can apply and see if you're approved before they run what's called a hard inquiry on your credit score, so it doesn't negatively affect you before you know you're approved, which is awesome. And once you get it, it starts to report to all 3 credit bureaus. Now, if you want a different credit card, because this one is too yellow, then you can apply for a Discover It secured credit card, which works almost the same way, except there is a refundable deposit you have to put down, and you get slightly different perks and benefits, but They're both great and you can't go wrong with either one, but whatever you do, don't apply for both at the same time because that would not be good. Pick one and stick with it. Once you get it though, there's two things you always have to follow. Number one, always pay your balance in full on time. Otherwise, you're gonna end up paying interest and it destroys the benefit of having a credit card. And the second thing, always use less than 10% of your credit line. For example, if you get approved for a $300 monthly credit line, use no more than $30 a month. And it's that underutilization and paying on time that's gonna skyrocket your score extremely fast and extremely high. And credit scores are one of those things where you don't think you need it until you do, and then it's just too late. Kind of like spending an ungodly amount of time trying to beat Ruby and Emerald weapon in Final Fantasy VII, only to realize I should have raised a golden chocobo and got Knights of the Round instead. Before you YOLO your life savings into Dogecoin to become a millionaire, which I know is sometimes tempting, first we have to invest in what can guarantee a return on our money, which is usually high interest rate debt. Chances are if you're a student, you might have a student loan or a credit card debt which has a higher interest rate than anything you could invest in. So the question is it better to invest or is it better to pay something off? And here's how I think about it. Kind of like playing Call of Duty. Is it better to play on a double XP weekend or not? If I'm gonna spend 8 hours of my life grinding that whole day, I better make sure it's worth the trouble and make it double. So I wanna guarantee that my time will double the effort. So when it comes to investing, here's how you can think about it. Every investment has an ROI, a return on investment, but not every ROI is created equal. For example, when you invest, you're not guaranteed to make money. You could buy a stock and it could go down in value. But if you pay off debt, you're guaranteed to make money equal to its interest rate. Take, for example, credit card debt. The average US household owes $6,270 in credit card debt, and the average interest rate on new accounts right now is 18.3%. Now, if you were to take your money and invest it in the stock market instead, a good year in the market would give you 8%. Not only is that nowhere near as high as 18%, but you're not even guaranteed to make that 8%. So before you start investing, pay off what is guaranteed, especially if it's high. So if you're gonna grind on those double XP days is all I'm saying. Now let's talk about investing. The investing step is the easiest part of this entire video if you watched it all the way through and got this far. Check this out. If you can start at the age of 25, assuming that you invest $500 a month and the market returns an annual 8% per year, factoring in inflation, in a normal year, I thank you, you will have $1.5 million by the time you're 65. Now, let's double that number to $1,000 a month. You will become a millionaire by the time you're 52 years young, which is really good, but that is still the average. And we want to be better than the average. And it turns out there's a trick to it. And the trick is that this is true no matter how much money you end up making. Whether it's $50K a year or $1 million a year, the same trick applies. Check this out. If you can save 50% of your after-tax yearly income and invest the difference, you will have enough money to last you for the rest of your life in just 17 short years. But if you can boost that savings rate up to 65%, which is obviously a lot harder to do on $50K a year, but it's possible, you will retire in just 10.5 short years. That is the shockingly simple math. A huge thanks to Mr. Money Mustache for this, but this is assuming that your investments can make at least 5% per year, factoring in inflation. And that's extremely doable. Unless we get inflation like we've been having, in which case no one's gonna retire anytime soon, but in the long term, it should work out. So the follow-up question then is, what's the best thing to invest in? Because there's stocks and real estate and crypto and bonds and NFTs and cars and watches and purses. What's the best thing to buy? The answer to that question is the hardest and the easiest thing to understand. It depends on your goal. That's the answer, which never made any sense to me growing up when I would always ask people, what's the one thing I should invest in? And no one would give me a straight answer, and I would always be so upset. I'd be like, how could this be subjective? There can only ever be one best thing to buy, so just tell me what it is and I'll do it. But the real answer is, it depends. The real answer is that if you want more and you want it quicker, the more risk you'll have to take. For example, if you want a Lambo by the age of 21, you're gonna have to take a lot more risk in the markets than someone who wants a house by the time they're 30. Everyone will want different things at different times in life, and that's why it really depends, and not everyone will have your same risk tolerance. But if you want to be modest and you want to own the ultimate luxury that money could ever buy, which is time and freedom, you can do it in as little as 10.5 years without taking on a ton of risk by buying investments like broad market index funds like this one. VOO, which is the S&P 500, the top 500 companies in the US, or VTI, which is the entire US stock market. All you have to do is buy either one of these ETFs or stocks, which represent many stocks, consistently, and you can hit your magic number, which is the number we figured out in the first part of the video, and how fast you'll get there will depend on your savings rate. And when you do and you're ready to retire, all you have to do is start selling off piece by piece enough to pay your bills, and the idea is that you will actually grow faster than you can sell it off, which means you'll never run out of money, and that's the infinite money glitch. And if you want to get a lot more specific, then this is the next step. The next video you absolutely have to watch is the 7 simple rules of investing for beginners, because there are a few steps in order of greatest to least importance that you have to take when investing, because it's not as simple as just buying a stock and then hoping it goes up in value. There's a few things we have to unlock, like some special abilities for our characters, like maximizing our tax deductions from the government, and of course our employer. I will leave all the resources down below for you to check out. It's free, directly from the SEC. Congratulations on taking your first step to financial independence and financial security. Share this video with your friends, and while you do that, don't forget to grab up to $250 worth of free Bitcoin with this link right here. Go track your stocks automatically with a spreadsheet linked down below in my Patreon, and go grab some free ones also linked down below. Love you, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you back here on Monday and Friday, sometimes a Wednesday. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.